In this video, we're returning to the Disneyland Resort to talk about the top treats you need to try on your next visit, and the must-have meals you should plan on enjoying at some of the park's most popular restaurants. So let's dive right into it. So we're going to start talking about my top 10 treats and then get into the restaurants and meals. And for Disneyland treats, we're going to start out with one of the most classic and popular, but with a bit of a twist. Of course, as you enter Adventureland, you will find the Tiki Juice Bar, where you can get the classic pineapple Dole Whip. But what I would recommend is you continue to walk into Adventureland, because just behind the Tiki Room, you'll find the Tropical Hideaway. And here you'll find both the classic pineapple Dole Whip, but also other flavors like mango, raspberry, and watermelon. And you can even have the Dole Whip Swirl, where you pick two of those flavors and swirl them together. You can't get these other flavors at the Tiki Juice Bar. Plus, the Tropical Hideaway has a nice seating area. You can listen to Rosita tell some jokes, and it has a very cool vibe day or night. Now let's head over to New Orleans Square, where nestled between the French Market and the New Orleans Square train station, you'll find the Mint Julep Bar and the delicious Mickey Beignets. These are fried dough, covered in powdered sugar, and shaped like Mickey Mouse. What's not to love? And depending on the time of year, they often have specialty flavors, like blueberry, peppermint, pumpkin, or special dipping sauces like chocolate or cookie butter. Now let's head up the Rivers of America to the Hungry Bear restaurant, home to their classic house-made funnel cakes. And like many of the treats we'll be talking about today, depending on the season, they'll have various specialty flavors like the churro funnel cake, peach cobbler funnel cake, pumpkin cheesecake funnel cake, and plenty of others. So be sure to look on the Disneyland app before you visit, and you'll be able to find what specialty flavors they're currently offering. And while you're in Critter Country, this doesn't count as one of my top 10, but go over to Pooh Corner for some sweet treats like carameled apples, Tigger Tails, and churro toffee. Next, let's head into Fantasyland, and as you approach the castle, if you just head to the left, you're going to find Maurice's Treats. And I recommend you get the churro gears. When you order these, you get 2 donuts tossed in cinnamon sugar. When I've had them, they're always warm and delicious. Let's head back down Main Street to the Jolly Holiday Bakery. There are plenty of fun baked goods here, but I recommend the Matterhorn macaroon. This is not only Instagram worthy, but it tastes so good. A coconut macaroon covered in icing, resembling the classic Disneyland attraction. Now let's head over to California Adventure. And while this next treat you can find throughout the resort, in fact there are currently 11 locations to find this classic treat, but it's the specialty flavors that we're going to chat about. Many of the churro stands offer both the classic churro and a seasonal option.
Thank you so much.
What? That's amazing. Okay, should I just break off the piece or are you
bite it. Get it. How does that make you feel, Eric?
That's good.
Right?
That's very good.
Right? Best churro you've ever had, maybe?
That's bringing together 2 classic Disney treats in such a good way.
All the good ways.
Here are some photos of just some of the options they have throughout the year. So be sure to check the app to see which specialty options are available at each location. And while there are certainly some that are better than others, I'm positive you'll be able to find one that you love. Next, let's head into Avengers Campus, which is home to some of your favorite superheroes and the amazing Choco Smash candy bar. This has peanuts, caramel, nougat, and chocolate brownie, all covered in dark chocolate. You will find this at the Pim Test Kitchen, and you can easily share it with a few friends, family members, or Avengers. And to avoid a long line at Pim Test Kitchen, use the app to do mobile ordering for this one. As we move deeper into California Adventure, there are some great options in the Pacific Wharf area, like Ghirardelli's Soda Fountain and Chocolate Shop. Yes, there are plenty of chocolates in here, but their sundaes are amazing. Whether it's hot fudge, caramel, cookie bites, or the Golden Gate banana split, this is some of the best ice cream in the resort. And just a few steps away at the Pacific Wharf Cafe, they offer various seasonal bread puddings. So depending on the season and time of year, you may find blueberry lemon, or maybe cherry cheesecake, but no matter the flavor, they are delicious and very, very filling. And lastly, on my top 10 treats list, just steps away from the entrance and exit to the Incredicoaster, is Jack Jack Cookie Num Nums, where of course they offer a delicious warm chocolate chip cookie named Jack Jack Cookie Num Num. This is one of the best cookies in the park, served warm and loaded with chocolate. So those are my top 10 treats at the Disneyland Resort. Before we start talking about restaurants and meals, I would love to know in the comments below, what additional treats would you add to that list? With only 10, I could only fit so many in, and I know there are definitely some other good ones. So let me know in the comments below what you would add, or maybe if you don't agree with me on one, let me know what you would take away. But now let's talk about my favorite meals and restaurants. And because depending on when you're visiting, how much time you have, if you can plan ahead, and how much you want to spend, there's a wide variety of restaurants and meals that I would recommend. I've broken them into 4 different groups. So we have the quick service, which is going to be kind of $12 and under. We have casual dining, which it's not going to be a waiter or waitress coming to you, but this is going to be, you go and pay for it yourself, but it's going to be $15 to $20-ish per meal. Also the table service, which you are going to have a server come to you, and that's going to be more of the $20 to $30-ish. And then we're going to talk about the fine dining, which is going to be $30 and up. And of course, in addition to that, there is character dining that fits in there. And you know, if you've watched this channel, I'm a huge fan of character dining. So I'm going to put some links down below talking specifically about character dining. So check those out. One thing to keep in mind as we're talking about the table service and the fine dining, those do require reservations, and reservations can be made on the Disneyland website or app 60 days before your visit begins for that specific day. So keep that in mind as we talk about this, but let's start off talking about the quick service options that I would recommend on your next visit. Near the top of Main Street, right before you reach the Plaza Inn, is the location of the Little Red Wagon, home to the hand-dipped corn dog. This is one of my favorite things to eat at Disneyland. The outside of the batter is always warm and crispy, and it's a very filling meal, so definitely check this one out. Across the street at the Jolly Holiday Bakery, you can get the Jolly Holiday Combo, which is a grilled cheese sandwich with tomato basil soup. Now I know you might be saying, grilled cheese sandwich, I can make that at home. But this is so good, and the tomato basil soup is delicious. This is perfect for a cooler day in the park or an evening meal as the sun goes down. Back in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, you can go to Ronto Roasters for a Ronto wrap. This is grilled pork sausage with a peppercorn sauce, tangy slaw, all wrapped up in a pita. And over at California Adventure at the Pacific Wharf Cafe, you can find this delicious and very filling meal, clam chowder or loaded baked potato soup in a sourdough bread bowl. The soup is wonderful, and the sourdough bread bowl is always crispy and fresh. Now let's head back to Disneyland to talk about the best casual dining options. For me, the restaurant I've visited most over the years is Plaza Inn. This is at the top of Main Street, and known for serving up one of Walt's favorite meals, the fried chicken dinner, with mashed potatoes, buttermilk biscuit, and a mixture of vegetables. So delicious. And if you're not feeling fried chicken, there are plenty of other good options here, like the penne pasta with chicken pesto Alfredo sauce. Over in Frontierland at Rancho del Zocalo, you'll find both delicious and very reasonably priced classic Mexican options, like the beef burrito and the red chili enchilada platter. Over in New Orleans Square at the French Market, you can grab the slow-roasted beef po' boy, or one of my favorites, the Cajun-style chicken Caesar salad. Over at California Adventure, you can assemble at Pim Test Kitchen for the not-so-little chicken sandwich, the Pimini sandwich, and the Quantum pretzel. Each one of these options are very tasty and Instagram worthy, but keep in mind these are some of the more expensive options based on the portion you're getting. And for our last casual dining option over at Flo's V8 Cafe in Carsland, you can get Flo's famous fried chicken, which is very similar to the fried chicken at Plaza Inn. Plus, as you're at Flo's, you can get some great views of Carsland as you eat. Now let's talk about table service restaurants, starting at Cafe Orleans in New Orleans Square. The meal to get here is always the amazing Monte Cristo sandwich. This turkey, ham, and Swiss cheese sandwich is an entree and a dessert all in one, as it is served with berry puree, pommes frites, and lightly dusted with powdered sugar. But be warned, this sandwich is very rich and very filling. Also note that the restaurants we're talking about from here on out do accept reservations 60 days out, and they're strongly recommended. Halfway up Main Street, you'll find the Carnation Cafe. This table service restaurant is infused with the history of Disneyland, so for breakfast, I recommend a large Mickey waffle, and for lunch and dinner, try some of Walt's favorite chili, one of the popular burgers or sandwiches, and some of the famous fried pickles to share. And lastly, for table service options, head to Pixar Pier to experience Lamplight Lounge with their iconic lobster nachos. And you also might want to try their delicious donuts for dessert. Perhaps the most famous restaurant at Disneyland is the Blue Bayou. It is a restaurant within the Pirates of the Caribbean attraction, and yes, the theme is amazing and reason enough to go, but the menu options are also wonderful. With some of these nicer restaurants, their menus do tend to change season to season, so depending on what time of year you visit, you might have some different options, but some typical and delicious options you'll find include the gumbo as a starter and the flat iron steak as an entree. And they always have great options for dessert. And yes, I know it's a little dark in these videos. The theming of the restaurant makes it a little hard to film in there, but it's perfect for a special meal. Headed over to California Adventure, you'll find Cartier Circle Restaurant at the top of Buena Vista Street. Disney describes it as offering a modern, seasonal menu spotlighting Southern California flavor, all within a location themed to the golden age of movies. Some current menu items include pomegranate pork chops, marinated salmon, cedar roasted duck breast. And if that seems a little too fancy or too pricey, they also offer alfresco dining, which is a bit more reasonably priced and a little less fancy. And for this last restaurant, we're cheating just a little bit because this one isn't in either of the parks, but as you can see, it's just steps away. The Napa Rose at the Grand Californian Hotel. As with the rest of the hotel, the restaurant features craftsman-style decor. This seasonal menu may also feature items such as a sustainable catch of the day, lamb, and filet mignon, and also amazing seasonal desserts. For both Cartier Circle Theater and Napa Rose, the main dishes are usually around $50 each. So those are my top restaurants and meals that I enjoy at the Disneyland Resort. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Are there any that you would add to it? Let me know in the comments below because I'm always looking for new good recommendations. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, please give it a like. And consider subscribing to the channel because my hope is always to make your next Disney adventure a little bit more magical with tips and tricks, food reviews, and news. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see y'all again real soon.